Well, what do we have for you today? Whether you're a history buff or not, you have to admit that world wars, especially these days, war is a topic in everyone's mind. In today's video, we're presenting to you the top 10 most incredible discoveries from WW2 that will leave you speechless. Are you ready to look at this list? Let's go then. Number 1 is 1,500 paintings. The Nazis were seizing paintings left and right during their regime, and their excuse was it was their themes were immoral. In reality, we know that they could sell them afterwards for huge amounts of money. So they weren't really destroying them, they were just keeping them hidden. And that was the case with a man named Hildebrand Gerlit, who was a Nazi official and had about 1,500 paintings in his cache, including Picasso, Matisse, and Chagall, among others. They were discovered in 2012 by the German police from the Munich apartment of his son, who was arrested. All the paintings together were worth over $1 billion. The German authorities tried to find the rightful owners of the artwork, but as you can probably guess, that would be a huge difficulty. The son, though, even right before his death, sometime around 2014, he believed he was the rightful owner of the paintings. Quite interesting. Number 2, a Japanese I-400 submarine. This massive submarine was designed by the Japanese in order to launch aircraft from it while on the surface. That meant it was an invaluable weapon against their enemy. They had plans to use it in the attack on the Panama Canal and on an attack in Ulithi. Fortunately, the war ended before they put their plan into action, and the 3 submarines, along with the Japanese, surrendered. The U.S., afraid of the Soviets and how they might use the submarine to their advantage, sank them and were ordered to keep their position classified. In 2013, southwest of Oahu, the legendary I-400 was discovered by a research team of the Hawaii Undersea Research Laboratory. So how you holding up so far? If you think the previous 2 were interesting, keep in mind we're just getting warmed up. So keep some of that excitement for later. And go ahead and subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and I'll personally reply to your comment. Number 3 is the P-40 Kittyhawk. Kittyhawk was the name the British gave to the Curtiss Warhawk, which, as you can probably guess, was a warplane. In June of 1942, 24-year-old Flight Sergeant Dennis Copping was ordered to fly one of the planes between bases in Egypt so it could be repaired. Repaired? Oh yeah, he was actually ordered to fly a damaged airplane. It wasn't a huge surprise then when he didn't arrive at his destination. First of all, the plane was damaged, and second of all, he could have been shot down by the enemy. Let's move forward to 2012. The Kittyhawk was discovered in the desert, and get this, it also had a parachute nearby, and further away, a skeleton. After examination, it turned out poor Dennis survived the crash, but probably died of thirst. Number 4, a cache of gold coins. Found in Lüneburg, Germany in 2015, this cache of gold coins has a history equal to its value. It's part of the legendary Nazi treasure, which allegedly includes paintings, gold, and in general a haul that even Indiana Jones would drop his jaw if he found it. These particular coins were found buried in a tree, all of them dated from 1831 to 1919, and includes money from Italy, France, Belgium, and Austro-Hungary. You might wonder, how did the people that found them know it was Nazi gold for sure? Well, a small indication might be along there with them were seals with the Nazi eagle and swastika. Also, Lüneburg happened to be the place where Reichsfuhrer SS Heinrich Himmler killed himself. Well, we're almost in the middle, which is the perfect time to remind you, go visit our channel when you're done watching this video because we have so many more amazing top 10s there. You'll have hours of viewing entertainment. And don't forget, give this video a thumbs up, then subscribe, and then turn on the notifications. Are you ready to go? Let's go. Number 5, a Carrier Pigeon. In 2012, tired of having an unused chimney in place, a homeowner from Surrey decided it's time to clean it. What did he find inside? The skeleton of a pigeon's leg, with a red message canister attached to it. After the initial shock, it turned out the leg belonged to a carrier pigeon going back to World War II. I mean, that's a long time not to clean a chimney, but yeah, we won't talk about that. Carrier pigeons were in general a way that, especially the U.S., but some other armies used to send secret coded message between units. To decode the message, you had to have a member of the Signal Corps on your side, otherwise all the traveling of the little feathery fellow would have been for nothing. With this one, we don't know what the message said, but we know it never reached its target. It makes you wonder, could that have changed world history had it reached target? If we take the butterfly effect a little far, you know. Number 6, the USS Juneau. If you know of the Sullivan brothers, this story might not be so unfamiliar. If you don't, well, let us quickly tell you, because they became a war propaganda coup for the U.S., and there was even a film released named The Fighting Sullivans. Who were they? 5 brothers that were killed in the U.S. light cruiser Juneau when it was torpedoed not one but twice from the Japanese. The Americans thought they couldn't possibly be survivors left, so they fled the scene, unfortunately leaving more than 100 survivors behind, which only 10 survived. The 5 Sullivan brothers did not. Moving to 2018, both the Juneau and the remains of the 5 brothers were discovered near the Solomon Island. Number 7. The Musashi Battleship. One of the largest battleships to have ever been made, the Musashi, was the Imperial Japanese Majesty's battleship and commissioned in 1942. Impressive as it was, the American forces managed to sink it in 1944, so it was short-lived, and thankfully, because if you can imagine that it took 19 torpedoes and 20 aerial bomb hits to sink it, you can imagine the kind of damage it would do if it had remained afloat. Paul Allen led an expedition in 2015 in order to discover the remains of the ship, and he succeeded. Well, we've made it to the top 3. Are you ready to see if we kept the best for last? So prepare, because if you haven't been amazed yet, first of all, man, you're hard to please. And second of all, we're going to get you in the next 3. Number 8, a Soviet T-34 tank. When German forces invaded the Soviet Union, they came upon a lot of surprises. One of the biggest was the T-34 tank and its enormous power. They say that if the tank had survived, it might have changed the course of the war. Well, it very nearly did, as it played its part in the Battle of Stalingrad and reduced the German Sixth Army. Now forward in time, we're in 2015 in the Don River, and we look at the face of the stunned divers when they discover the actually intact T-34 Soviet tank. Speculation is the bridge that was in place to cross the river couldn't handle the weight of the tank. I mean, we can't blame the bridge. The tank weighed 30 tons. Number 9, artifacts inside milk cans. In 2017, at Lake Jezoriak in Poland, a teenage boy was taking vacation with his parents and was just casually looking around for hidden treasure. Little did he know that he'd actually find one. He discovered 2 milk cans, which somehow contained tons of interesting artifacts from the Second World War. When the family gave the historical treasure to police, it was found out these artifacts belonged to Count Hans Joachim von Fickenstein, who was a Prussian aristocrat. Imagine saying the story of how you found them to your schoolmate. The cans had inside the aristocrat's last will, a copy of his coat of arms, his military medals, his diaries, jewelry, even his eyeglasses. Allegedly, the Count buried his personal treasure before being captured by the Soviet Army, but there's a chance it was his wife, Hildegarda, who did it, as she was the one that remained in the estate and was employed by the Soviets. Number 10, a secret Nazi nuclear bunker. A filmmaker made the discovery of his life when he managed to discover an actual secret Nazi nuclear bunker. Say that 5 times fast. I mean, it sounds like something out of a movie, but I guess it's proper it was a filmmaker that found it. It had a whole network of underground tunnels and bunkers which was used by the Nazis in an attempt to develop the atomic bomb. Let us just say how happy we are that didn't work out. This massive site covering 75 acres was found using radiation tests and intelligence reports, and it's located close to the town of St. Georgen an der Gusen. The filmmaker said in an interview, prisoners from concentration camps across Europe were handpicked for special skill, physicists, chemists, or other experts, to work on this monstrous project, and we owe it to the victims to finally open the site and reveal the truth. Well, that's an impressive discovery, to say the least. And there you have it for today, the 10 most incredible discoveries from World War II. Now it's time to hear from you. Hey, it rhymes. Which one shocked you the most and why? Let us know in the comments. And if you haven't already, hit that like button and then do the same with the subscribe button. Hey, guess what? We'll see you next time.